This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.
And here we go. All right, guys. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mind, Body, and Laughter podcast.
With Tanya and Herm.
All right. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen Matt Barnes's fiancée, I guess, called herself putting him out on Front Street.
Matt Barnes is a hot mess anyway.
Okay. So, and he actually went on to prove that he's a hot mess because
he's been a hot mess since his first wife was on Basketball Wives.
Right. And then he went to want to go beat up his ex-teammate for them getting together and all that stuff. So
is she still with him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Derek Fisher. Yeah, they still together. As far as I know, last I heard they were together. And so his new fiance put up a post where she had 8 of the women that was messing with.
Yeah.
And she put their names and Instagrams and all that stuff. And for me, I looked at it and I'm like, I guess she's putting it out there to kind of make him look bad, but at the same time, it also makes her look a little bad herself, in my opinion.
Why?
So he has 8 women around and you didn't notice anything?
Maybe she didn't. I find it hard to believe, but maybe she didn't.
Yeah. That is very, very hard to believe that you didn't pick up on any signs, because that's not putting you in a good light unless you knew about them all along, and it's still not putting you in a good light. So I don't think it put her in a good light as well. And
so when she posted it on Instagram, what were some of the comments? Oh,
the comments were varied. Like some were applauding her. Some was like, "Yeah, you look." Yeah. Then they saw all the girls actually very good looking. Everything. Some were giving him props. Like, "Oh my God, he kept all that."
Are they still together?
I doubt it. But the other girls, like, she spoke to the other girls. She caught them with texts and spoke to some of the other ones, and they was like, "This has been going on for years."
Yeah, he's been a hot mess for years.
Yeah, but you didn't notice, you didn't pick up on any of that?
She probably did. Most women have a very good intuition as to what's going on with one man, so with one woman. So I can't imagine her not knowing what's going on with 8 women.
Right. And to bring up the point, that's one of the things why I say you just don't put your business out in the street.
Social media has made it very comfortable for people to have a platform to put all their crazy laundry out there. And I'm here for it because I am scrolling. Then I got to dig a little deeper and go into this one and go down the rabbit hole of all the messiness. But some people think.
But like I said, it didn't make her look good at all.
Maybe she wasn't trying to make her look good. She was trying to make him look bad. And didn't care.
I don't think it worked. I don't think it worked because, like you said, like you as soon as I brought it up, first thing you said was he been a mess. So it's not going to really make him look no worse for wear. Just look like he's doing what he normally does.
And believe me, he's not hurting for women. As you can see, he'll probably find another one.
Oh, he'll keep all the other 8.
Well, maybe the other ones didn't know about each other.
At least 4 of them that I saw all knew about. At least knew about the fiance.
Well, maybe the women
knew about the fiance. They knew about the fiance.
The women don't care about him having other friends as long as maybe they're doing their own thing.
Probably. But that's why I said for the fiance, as far as her, what did she get out of that? Other than everybody knowing your business. I mean, maybe it made her a little more popular because nobody really knew who she was.
That we do a podcast and the podcast is putting our business out there. So, there's different levels of putting your business out there, I guess. And where does it draw the line?
So you think if one of us got caught cheating, you would put it on the podcast? You would say, let's put it on the podcast?
Well, if we're being real.
Or you would just put it on your own little page.
I'm not putting anything about what any real life negativity on this platform. If you cheated, this whole thing would be shut down. with 8 women. I'm not trying to. I couldn't even sit and look at you anymore. They'd be like, "Oh gosh, what happened to Tanya Herm?" Yeah, Tanya Herm, there's no more because Herm lost his ever-loving mind.
Oh, how about what if Tanya lost her ever-loving mind and it ended? The show ended because of that. Because Tanya lost her ever-loving mind. Why it had to just be on me? This is a new era. Women cheat more than men now.
Women always cheated. They're just better at it.
However you want to call it, they still cheating.
Right.
And when you get caught, you get all right. There you go. I
There's
wouldn't.
probably more women that have extramarital affairs, but men are not, and we talked about this before, men are not smart enough to stick to the same routine. You know, a man will cheat, he'll come home later than what he wants to, later than what she's accustomed to. You know, they just break the routine, and women will keep the
Women
same
break
routine.
the routine. Women break the routine as well. It's
They
just
do.
that
Maybe
they might have a better reasoning, but they break routine as well. That's why it gets suspect in the first place.
Men aren't very observant.
They're observant enough because women get caught a lot.
They don't get caught a lot.
If
they get caught, it's because the women want to get caught.
Oh, well, however you want to put it, maybe the man want to get caught. So what's the difference?
I mean, you're talking from a man's point of view, which is fine.
I'm
talking from a woman's point of view. Right. And I'm telling you, my point of view is men are not very smart when it comes to having affairs.
I don't know. I can't speak for all. I can't say all men are. Some are. Some don't care. And the same I see for women. The ones that tend to not care at all is the ones that tend to get caught.
Right.
When they stop caring. But when they care, they tend to be a little bit more thought. They think things out and plan a little better. But you know, it all depends on where they are in that situation. Because once you get to a point where you checked out, then you stop caring. And I think that's normally when they end up one side or the other end up getting caught. So when they check out of the situation, when they could have just ended it. But
yep. Pretty much. So
yeah, so that was but it was I'm surprised you didn't tell me about it first. Usually you're the one on those type of things.
I saw it, but I think Matt Barnes been doing crazy stuff for a very long time, so I really don't even pay him any attention. Pay him no attention.
I was, well, I don't know why I shouldn't say I was surprised, but I wasn't really surprised. But it was a little bit surprising when you saw all of the comments. Like you saw the comments before they saw what the women look like.
Oh, of course, I go into the comments immediately because those will have you giggling.
They had you cracking up. And how the comments that were coming in before they found out what the women looked like, and then after they found out what the women looked like, it seemed like that changed quite a few opinions, especially on the male side of it, where they was like, "Oh my god!" And then they was like, "Well, what is
he still playing basketball?"
Oh, I don't know. He's been stopped. He's been trying years ago.
He got a whole lot of
his podcast is very good though.
He has a podcast. What is he? What is he talking about?
Him and Steven Jackson. No, they all sports. It's like a lot of sports stuff, but it's actually really good. I actually catch their stuff quite a bit. It's one of the more, I guess they call it more real ones nowadays because they, keep it a buck. So I'm surprised. I'm gonna see if that even comes up on the show because I haven't watched it in a while. I'm gonna see.
He's not gonna talk about that.
He might. They talk about stuff like that, so he might. So I would love to see. I'm gonna check and see if it comes up at all. So it's actually so pretty cool. So what else has been on your mind?
Always a lot of things on my mind.
Like,
I mean, I can't think of anything right now.
Not hugging your dog. Well, this was something that you brought up one day that was kind of funny. Like how women going to the movie theaters, guys going to movie theaters, and guys not sitting next to each other and having that space in between the chairs, but women can sit right next to each other and it won't be a big deal at all.
You go to the movie theater and don't sit next to your friend?
We have a space in between the chair. Yeah.
Hmm. I never really thought about that.
Yeah.
What happens if it's crowded?
If it's forced, then you don't have no choice. But
If it's
but yeah, typically, nah, why you sitting so close? Get out of here. But typically, no one ever really makes that mistake. Like if it's like I said, if it's space, is I have never been a place where they just sat next to each other. I
but
just
I'm so confused. So what happens if you guys sit next to each other? You don't sit next to each other. There's a space in between.
Mhm.
And now the movie theater is packed, and some big burly guy comes sits down in between you guys. When you ever had to sat next to your friend?
no. Well, if a big burly guy come in there, we will move over. Yeah, we move over. Say, yeah, bro, you can have that one. Yeah, no. We're not gonna. Or just somebody in general. Yeah, when it's packed. When it's packed, it's a different story. But if you have some space, you tend to.
You guys think a whole lot about stuff that don't even make any sense.
Maybe just like sleeping in the same bed. None of that.
Well, I can see that.
Last thing I want to be laying in the bed and this joker start thinking about his wife. We ain't. That's gonna be a problem.
Or your feet touch.
Yeah, nah. Nah, we ain't having none of that. I sleep on the couch or on the floor before that.
Or
The floor, you heard me. I roll up in that. Well, I sleep on the old nasty rug. I don't care.
gosh. It is Go Red Month. You know what that means?
No, I don't.
Go Red Month is recognized in February, recognizing heart health,
Oh,
taking care of your heart, which means different exercises or heart healthy foods.
mm.
And I mean, the the American Heart Association is probably going to come for me hard, but those recipes that they suggest,
Yeah, doc, man, I saw him. Like that's none of that stuff is for your heart. Like, what you trying to have a heart attack so I can come on your site? Yo, get out of here. I'm looking at the meals that they put on there because I go on there a lot, but I just didn't know about the month of it because I just know February just starts all the Black History stuff.
right? Well, right. Black History Month, very, very important.
Yeah. So, and for all of you guys who would really like to celebrate it a lot, this is the month to take and try to find stuff that wasn't told. And let's leave the whole slave thing. Let's go somewhere find something outside of the whole slavery thing. That would be my suggestion for Black History Month. Just get outside of that slavery mess. I'm
Yeah,
tired.
that I used to
We're
hate
more than
Black
we're
History
more
Month
than
when I
we're
was
more than
younger,
slave.
and they would say, and I would be the only little black girl in this class, and they would say, "All right, we're going to talk about slavery," and everybody would look at me and ask, "Was I a slave? Or were my parents slave?" It was mortifying. So to your point, there are many other contributions that Black people have made without referencing slaves.
Right. I don't want to hear it. So you start that up,
I
I'm
don't want to talk about no slavery.
yeah. As soon as that come up, I'm cutting it off. Conversation over. And that goes for not people just outside of race. That go people right in with our own race. I don't want to hear that.
I do believe we have to, talk to the kids about where you came from and all the efforts we made to get to where we are.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have to have a whole Black History Month should not be talked about
Oh yeah.
slavery.
Yeah, you have to mention some things, but like I'm also like to point out the contributions
Right. So
that weren't talked about.
Right. So we didn't talk about Madam C.J. Walker, the first woman millionaire.
Yeah.
How she was an entrepreneur. Black people are so entrepreneurial in their spirit that's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about Madam C.J. Walker.
Or the richest person ever in existence, Mansa Musa. I think I messed his name up.
Who?
He was this African king. He was the richest, wealthiest person in existence.
I don't think you said his name right.
I don't think I did. Masu Musu, I think it is though. But let me look it up. say here. But go ahead, you can say something while I'm looking this up.
So we are recognizing a lot of
Mansa Musu.
huh?
Mansa Musa, Masa Musa, Mansa Musa, Musa.
All right, in a 20-second blurb, what did he do? I know you like to talk a lot. Just give me 20 seconds.
Whatever. He actually ended up having a lot of gold, but he had so much.
Where was he from?
Africa. Let me pull up the exact place because he was the master of the Mali Empire.
Oh, okay. So what I was saying is that a lot of organizations recognize February as being Heart Healthy Month, and I know you talked about for your own business offering some type of couples workout. Have you started working on that?
I have one already, but I'm working on the full program now. But I have some people who I'm doing already is what gave me the idea.
Okay.
I have a couple, so it's like I want to make sure because it's just not only it helps pushes each other, but it actually brings you together. I think a little bit more too, because now you have those days where you're growing together, you're getting gains together, you're having
Getting what together?
gains. You're contributing gains. You're
Oh,
winning.
I thought you said gangs. I was like, gangs.
Gains, gains. So you're having small successes. Each little success you're having with each other, and I think that ends up bringing couples closer together. And
All
when
right, well, you better get this program together
well, I mean,
so
it's
that you can release it, prior to Valentine's Day, which is coming up.
right around the corner. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What did I want to just say really quickly? How did the cleanse go for because you did the whole January cleanse, one of those juicing and cleansing. How did that go?
With the juicing, it actually went very good. Actually, I'm going to post one of my. I got a text from one of my clients. She said her blood pressure is the lowest it's ever been, just from the juicing and restarting and changing her eating habits. And that's typically really what it comes down to. You have to change the eating habits. And like I was telling you the other day, for people who are trying to lose weight, it's a little type of oversimplification, but the thing you want the most is you want to be in calorie deficit. And what that means is you want to burn more calories than you're taking in. So if you're burning, just say 1,000 calories a day, because that comes with your workout, walking, or whatever you're doing, even just sitting around, you will burn some calories. If you burn 1,000, you want to eat less than 1,000. You want to have 900 less. That means you're losing weight. If you're eating more than you're taking in, then you're burning, then you're gaining weight. So you have to kind of watch those numbers because everybody has those watches nowadays, those rings, so you can keep track of how many calories you're burning, and then you just start adjusting your diet towards that.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a nice little heart healthy tip for February, as well as getting out and exercising, finding the exercise that you enjoy and getting out and doing that.
That's the big
Most
key.
important is moving your body.
That's a big key. Finding something that you like. Because some people aren't into weightlifting. Some people aren't into different types of cardio. You just follow, as long as you're doing something, as long as you follow something that you enjoy doing, but just as long as it's active. And
yeah.
If it's
swim. Well, I got my blood work back, and I was able to successfully reverse because I'm not owning it, a thyroid condition with diet, exercise, and supplements. So I feel much better. And now I take my blood work after I get it from my primary, my physical, and I take it to the naturopath, who does a deeper dive into some supplements that I could be added to my regimen to live my optimal health. Because as I've stated before, we are deficient in magnesium, and most people don't realize that's the mineral we are most deficient in. They believe it's, iron or B12, but a lot of us, because our soil is so depleted, magnesium is something that we should be taking. And, I take it at night and helps me sleep also. But, another plug for my naturopath, going to see her. Got to make an appointment, that's on my list. And just, making sure that we take care of ourselves as far as, getting massages. Self-care is important, and, scheduling quiet time. Somebody asked me yesterday, what do you do for self-care? You're so busy, you're all over the place, you're running here with the kids, you're running for work, you're running for this. I plan where I don't have to do anything. Right?
Mhm.
And you know that, because I'll say, oh, I'm just going to relax today. I'm not going to go anywhere. And it's sometimes tempting because the girlfriend will say, oh, come on, let's go grab a bite to eat or something. And you really just have to be mindful that sitting still is, I see your eyes raised because you know that, and sometimes the reset is happening on a Sunday. I like to not do a whole lot on a Sunday, but, it may look like a Saturday instead. It may look like a Friday night, but you have to have those days where you're not just running and running. Our bodies aren't responding so well. And that's why you see an onset of all these different, cancers, diabetes. Those numbers are rising, and people don't know what to
Earlier
do
age
to
as
reverse
well.
that.
Yeah, and at earlier age, that's the part that's the most concerning to me, that is happening a lot earlier. So you definitely have to be more mindful. I'm actually going to start on my social media.
And when you say being more mindful, people don't understand what that means.
Being more mindful of what you're putting into your body, watching your body. You feel certain aches and pains, you feel a little fatigue here and there. Keep track of these things. Don't just say, I'm just going to push through it. Because some days you may have to push through, but also make sure if you do that push through, make sure I'm going to take this day because I got to wash myself down a little.
Right. And doing those cleanses, or fast once a month, it resets your body, right?
Yes, because it clears out some of the stuff that you may have been eating that may not have been so good for you. And even if you're eating good food, you still want to do that fast and cleanse here and there, just to kind of have a maintenance of your system and keep it running as optimal as you can. The same way you guys do for your cars. You get your oil change, you do all these things for your cars, but you don't do it for your body. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So we thank you guys for joining in again on another episode of Mind, Body, and Laughter Podcast
With Tanya y Hermano.
Oh, we have Spanish team today. Spanish team, huh?
Hermano means
no, it's brother, but I mean,
right.
We already.
It's Herman.
Yeah, Herman.
You had some girls call you that, didn't you? When you were overseas, they're like, Herman. Yeah, you like that. I see you getting real jiggy in your seat. You like that, huh? Anyway, bye, everyone.
Later.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.